Are we alone in the universe? It's a question that has captivated humanity for centuries. And our best bet for an answer might just lie on the desolate red plains of Mars. But before we send our most advanced robots to dig in Martian soil, where do scientists go to practice? And what if the first Martians we find are, well, not quite what we expected? Welcome to the Atacama Desert in Chile, the most Mars-like environment on Earth. It's so extreme. It's the perfect training ground for hunting extraterrestrial life. Today, we're digging into a fascinating study that did just that, developing strategies for future Mars rovers. We'll explore what tiny creatures survive in this brutal landscape, how this helps our search for Martian microbes, and even what scientists might name these alien organisms if we find them. So, why the Atacama? Imagine a place so bone dry. Its core hasn't seen rain for decades, adds scorching ultraviolet radiation due to its high elevation and incredibly salty soil. Sounds pretty toxic for life, right? Yet, as a February 2019 study in Frontiers in Microbiology revealed, life finds a way. A team led by Professor Stephen Pointing from Yale NUS College in Singapore discovered bacteria species thriving just beneath the surface, surviving, as he puts it, right at the limit of habitability. And that is very good news for the prospect of finding microbes on Mars. Now, you might have heard some wild rumors about an Atacama alien humanoid found in this region. Let's clear that up. Scientists have thoroughly investigated, and it's been found to be something else entirely. A human fetus with severe mutations, not an extraterrestrial. Our focus today is on the real alien hunt for microscopic Martians. Professor Pointing's team wasn't just looking for life. They were testing how to look for it on another planet. They deployed an autonomous rover-mounted drill in the Atacama, extracting soil samples down to 80 centimeters. That's over 2.5 feet. They compared these robotic samples with ones dug by hand, and through DNA sequencing, bingo. The bacterial life was similar in both, confirming these hardy microbes exist and that the robot could successfully find and extract them. This is a huge boost for upcoming missions like NASA's Mars 2020 and the European Space Agency's ExoMars rover, both set to launch their first life-hunting rovers to the Red Planet in 2020. Mission managers now have a better idea of where and how to look. But, as Professor Pointing cautions, it's not going to be easy. They found that the subsurface bacteria were extremely patchy. He described it as a needle in a haystack scenario for a rover on Mars. These microbes correlated with increased salt levels, which actually restricted the availability of water. So, finding those little life pockets will be a serious challenge. So, what kind of life did they find? While the surface of the Atacama has some relatively unremarkable photosynthetic bacteria, they get energy from sunlight, things get way more interesting and more alien just beneath the surface. Pointing explained that as they went deeper, the bacterial community became dominated by types that can thrive in extremely salty and alkaline soils. And then, down at 80 centimeters, these were replaced by a single specific group of bacteria that survive by metabolizing methane. Methane. Now, why is that a big deal? These specialized methane eaters have been found in deep mine shafts and other subterranean spots, but never before beneath an arid desert surface. And if you've been following Mars news, you'll know about the kerfuffle over methane being detected in the Martian atmosphere by rovers like Curiosity. On Earth, methane is generated by both biological, think cows or ancient microbes, and geological processes. And some microbes can eat it for energy. So finding methane on Mars could mean there's some kind of active biology happening underground. This Atacama discovery gives us a strategy. Drill below the surface and look for these methane-munching microbes. Okay, imagine the moment. We find microbial life on Mars. It would undoubtedly be the most significant scientific discovery in human history. But then what? In our grand human tradition, we'd have to name our new neighbors. Professor Pointing explains that on Earth, we assign Latin names to bacteria based on their evolutionary relationship, measured by their genetic code. But Martian bacteria? If they evolved from a completely different common ancestor than Earth, life, a second genesis, they'd need a whole new set of Latin names at the highest level. Of course, if their genetic code is similar to ours, it could mean life was transferred between Earth and Mars in the ancient past via meteorites, a theory called panspermia. But a truly novel genetic code, born on Mars? That would fundamentally change our understanding of life itself. And if they are truly native Martians? Professor Pointing has a suggestion for a name he'd love to use: Planeta Desertum Superstes. That's Latin for survivor on the desert planet. How cool is that? So the hunt for Martians is well underway right here on Earth in the most extreme deserts imaginable. The insights gained from the Atacama are paving the way for rovers that, as we speak, or as of 2020 when these missions launched, are on their way to or already exploring Mars, equipped with the knowledge to drill, sample, and hopefully finally answer that age-old question. It's a challenging quest, a true search for a needle in a cosmic haystack, but the potential reward is monumental. What do you think? Will we find life on Mars? And if we do, what would you name a Martian microbe? Let me know your thoughts and creative names in the comments below. If you enjoyed this journey to the Mars on Earth, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives into science and exploration, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure. Thanks for watching.